call this meeting to order, and I would ask you all, if you are able and willing, to please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, and thank you all for coming. It's great to have a crowd like this. We have had no one sign up to give a public comment tonight, so we'll move right into the report of the secretary. I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of our last meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Wednesday, April 15th, 2026.
Second, Heather.
Comments or questions?
Nope.
Usual excellent job. All in favor? Okay, that's for we have minutes. Thank you. That moves us into the report of the chair. I have a few things to mention on my list. First, the district budget meeting will be held on Monday, May 11th. Please mark your calendars. Please, all voting members of our two towns are welcome to attend. Second thing is we have to assign the articles for motions and seconds at the district budget meeting. And how we've done it in the past is for each of the, I think there's 11 expenditure warrants. For each of the 11, we cycle through. A board member will move the warrant. I will second it. And typically, our moderator, Mr. Stockmeyer, will read the warrant, and then you simply say, I move the article as either written or read. If he reads it correctly, then you can move it as read if you want to. But if you catch him misspeaking, transposing figures in the course, it's safer to say, I move the article as written.
Gotcha.
And hopefully the written versions will be correct. Okay, so
You just
We
let
can
us.
just,
just go right, as we sit, we can just go right down the line.
Perfect.
Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. And-
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And just a reminder for the community, the time.
Yes, the registration, the doors open at 6 for registration. The meeting will start at 7. Last year, we delayed the start of the meeting because we had a line out the door waiting to register, hoping we're not going to encounter that this year.
But we still want everyone to come.
But we absolutely want
Yes.
everyone to come. And the second thing to mention is that there will be, at the same time, a meet the new superintendent meeting going on at 6 o'clock down in this room, I believe, yes?
I think we're going to do the library.
Library,
So it's
I'm sorry.
upstairs, so
In
it's
the library.
close for people.
So if you're registered, and before you sit down, if you want, absolutely cycle through it and meet the new superintendent. Dr. Caroline Arakilian. Good. That's nice. We'll review that before we start the meeting as well. Okay, town officials meeting. We did have a meeting this morning with the South Berwick and Elliott folks. I'll go through some highlights from my notes. I think the big news from South Berwick was that the town manager has given his 30-day notice. So South Berwick will be looking for a new town manager soon. The town hall construction continues. They're moving several of the departments into trailers in May so that work can take place in that portion of the meeting that building. And that they'll probably be in the trailers through about December. The town budget meeting is on May 19th. And I think she said they're actually asking if they can use the high school gym.
They're doing
So
it here
the
in
town budget meeting will be here.
either the gym or the auditorium. I can't remember which.
Okay. And that will be at 6 p.m. on May 19th. So mark your calendars for that if you're in South Berwick. And Wendy had already confirmed her presence for 5/11 for our district budget meeting. And I think we were in the process of confirming that the South Berwick clerk presence.
did we get any voting volunteers?
Ryan did a training on April 21st, and we did not get any members of the public that
Okay.
arrived to be trained as ballot clerks, but we did train our local staff members that typically volunteer. Ryan did a training with all of them, so we'll be fine.
On the Elliott side, Mike reported that their ballots are printed for the budget, for their budget vote. He reported on the pavilion project being broadly supported in the town. It's being funded out of reserve, so it's no new taxes to support that. There's a police station renovation underway. Frost Tuts is adding pickleball courts, so the pickleball players will be pleased by that. The baseball fields at Margaret Road getting some improvements. The sewer grant for the middle school sewer line has been submitted now, and they're expecting 2 weeks for additional info and a decision on that grant sometime in late June or early July, so we're keeping our fingers crossed on that. The property reevaluation is underway in Elliott, so they expect it to be in place for tax year 2028. And then we did some updates on things like the availability of title funds for this coming year, the sewer project, of course, our preparations for the 5/11 district budget meeting. You've already mentioned the ballot clerk training which took place last week. And the budget documentation will be delivered to the town tomorrow, presuming that the board votes to approve them tonight. Okay, so the next meeting with the town officials will be on May 20th. Did I miss anything? Ready? Do you remember anything else? No?
No, I think that
Okay.
covers it.
Thank you. Last thing, I mentioned in a previous meeting that the Maine Education Policy Research Institute was preparing to conduct a citizens assembly where they're going to ask people from all of the counties in Maine to participate in a discussion around what Maine's education priorities ought to be for the next 10 years. The recruiting website is now up and running, so if anyone has an interest in seeing what that's about and possibly even participating in that citizens assembly, I don't have the exact URL in front of me, but if you were to Google the phrase Maine Citizens Assembly and include MEPRI in there, I'm sure you'd get the response. We can probably figure it out and make that available on the
Yeah, that would be
website.
great.
Just FYI.
Great.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. All right. So, we have some friends with us tonight. My first item on my report tonight is to talk about the Iditarod Teacher on the Trail and our winner, our national winner, Mrs. Schaaf. I love that.
So I'm going to talk fast so that they can talk.
I love it.
They're more important.
That's good.
Yeah.
Look, they have their dog sled shirts on.
Oh my gosh. I know.
Come on, boys, get in. Already been taking the picture.
Here we go.
Can we put the pictures up?
I will go first.
It's up to you. Yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's
it's
on-
okay.
yeah, it
It's
won't
for the
amplify.
live stream. Thank you so much for letting us come and talk. We're super excited. I did ask the kids before vacation, would any of you like to come to the school board meeting with me? Figuring that they would say no. And I have this many out of 76, so I think that that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to talk real quick to tell you what it is, because I didn't even think that some of you knew what the Iditarod was. So I just put a map up here first, and I just wanted to show you. Yeah, you can come on the side. I just wanted to show you that it takes place in Alaska. It is a 1,000-mile dog sled race. I am not racing the dogs. But when I went for my interview to Alaska, the only places that I were able to go was Anchorage and Willow. So I went about 50 miles in Alaska. So mostly we spent our time in Anchorage. Now that I won Teacher on the Trail, I get to go from Anchorage to Nome. And the only way that you can get there is either by dog sled, snowmobile, or bush plane. So I will fly with the dogs that get dropped at each checkpoint back and forth. I will fly with the Iditarod Air Force. I will drive with the snowmobiles. I will bring the food to the checkpoints. I get to teach at different schools along the trail while I'm there.
Wow.
So that is just in a nutshell, like where I'm going to go. When am I going there?
Next year.
Next 2025, thank you. So for those of you who do not know what the Iditarod is, it has been going on since 1973. From ages 18 to 83, people have competed in the Iditarod. What I think is super cool for the kids to know is that men and women compete the same exact. It doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter the sex that you are, you compete with the same rules. It is a tribute to the sled dog culture and the Alaskan Huskies, and then the historic Iditarod Trail between Seward and Nome, which they did the serum run on. Why I use it as a teaching tool is because who wouldn't be interested in dogs competition in snow? It is multidisciplinary, which works great at the middle school because I get to work with all of my teen teachers and all of them jump on board, and it's amazing to work together. It is a real world adventure, and we teach the adventure genre in 6th grade, so what better way to bring in than something real world to the kids. The ties to Maine, I didn't realize when I started teaching the Iditarod about 14 years ago that Togo, who is the sled dog that really is responsible for the serum run and made the most gains there, actually retired in Maine, in Poland Springs. And so that his bloodline is still going in Poland Springs. And that is where the Iditarod is coming this summer. They've never come to New England, and they're coming to do a workshop this summer, and they're going to do it at Poland Springs. Also in Maine, there is a qualifier. You have to have 3 qualifiers to run in the Iditarod race, and that is run the Can-Am, and that is run in Fort Kent. Real-time data, the kids get to see where the mushers are at the time that they get there. They've realized, do you remember how many hours difference is Alaska from here? 4, okay? And then a use of a credible website. And I'm gonna let them just share a little bit. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do the Iditarod is because it's on the website also, and to teach the kids what credible and not credible sites to go to. So when we first started the Iditarod, I Googled, because that's what they do all the time. So I Googled about the Iditarod. And were the facts real when we Googled? No. No, they were not accurate. So we went to the Iditarod site and we found out how to look for accurate information. The other reason that I wanted to teach the Iditarod, and I learned about actually just this summer when Mrs. Walker and I went to Idaho, thank you Mrs. Goulet, was that how much you can use the AI, the technology that's happening now. So the kids are immersed in it all the time and not always for the right reasons. So we wanted to show them how to be able to use it correctly. So one of the past teachers on the trail is like a technology whiz, and that's what she strives on, is using a credible website and using AI. So, thank you, my daughter.
I have an AI-generated t-shirt on of myself tonight. You will see a picture, but I actually went on and I used it, and that is what I said to the kids, is here's how you can use something that if you can't draw, can I draw? No. So if you can't draw, this is something that you can use, and you can talk right into your computer, and you can say, this is what I want. Nope, that's not really what I want, so I want to add this, or I want to add something else. So that's the use of the Credible websites too. This is just the journey so that it can be incorporated into any discipline, which is what we use at the middle school. And then throughout our whole advisory program and social emotional learning, the 8 traits of the Iditarod fall into it also. So we went through and we talked about innovation and diligence and integrity and teamwork, attitude, respect, optimism, and determination. And it forms an acronym poem. And we did poetry this year also. And then I just threw in some pictures that I was lucky enough to be with the winner of the Iditarod this year, Jessie Holmes. We had a rookie musher this year, which I know that some of you are going to talk about. And I got to get her autograph and to talk to her. We did Google Meets with her when she was in Alaska. The boy up in the top hand corner, his grandfather, Joe Reddington, what did Joe Reddington do? He started the Iditarod. So this young man just ran the junior Iditarod when I was there, and he came and presented in front of all the teachers and everyone in Alaska. He just turned 18, so he plans to run the Iditarod next year. And I said, well, someday you're going to be a champion. I need to get my picture taken. And then what do you remember about the closest finished from the Iditarod? What happened?
Oh, it was like a dog nose apart.
A dog nose apart. So the man that's down in the middle with the red hat, that is the dog nose apart from 1973 that we had just done right before I left on the plane. And he came out of the car and he introduced himself and he said, I'm actually from Concord, New Hampshire. I used to drive a Mack truck there. And I moved to Alaska and I've been here for 50 years. And then the dog in the bottom is wearing a purple bandana that we sent from Maine. So that was for our rookie musher. We sent a care package and all the dogs wore purple bandanas from Marshwood so we could tell them they were on the trail.
So cute.
So this was part of my interview when I went to Alaska. I needed to tell a little bit about what I did in the classroom. So this is what I just want to share. The kids haven't even seen this. But what I tried to instill in them. In every lesson, I set the pace with care, determined to guide my students to have their own adventure to share. Inspiring courage when the trail feels long, teaching resilience, helping each student grow strong. Amid the challenging race of life, I lead the way, reminding kids that their effort matters each day. Over any obstacle, I encourage my students to strive, driving their dreams forward, waiting to watch them thrive. So that is one reason why I teach it, because I think that everything can be incorporated into that. And I waited 20 years to apply for the Teacher on the Trail. It started in 1999. I had just had my first child, and I was like, I am not leaving now. Always thought I'd love to apply for that, never thought that I would get it. So, and here we are. So. And then this came right from the Iditarod website, and I know it looks long, is what they told me. It's a lot of words, Mrs. Shaw. But I think that this sums up exactly what the Teacher on the Trail program does, so I'm just going to share it with you. The Iditarod Teacher on the Trail program is a unique opportunity for one selected educator each year to enter into a one-year agreement to teach beyond the traditional classroom walls via internet and be involved in a project that reaches students around the world. Creating standards-driven lessons, using research-based techniques, and integrating technology as a tool for the teaching and learning are 21st century components leading to academic success for students of all ages. Trade in your coat and teacher shoes for extreme weather gear as you brave the Arctic elements, temperatures far below zero during the last great race. Spend about 4 weeks during race time in Alaska as a member of Iditarod's educational team as you visit schools, present programs in the community, and prepare for the teaching adventure of a lifetime. Fly in small bush planes over rugged yet magnificently beautiful terrain from checkpoint to checkpoint during the race. As a race volunteer, help where needed in checkpoints you visit as you learn firsthand what goes on behind the scenes during the race. Bring the sights, sounds, and race events to classrooms in an online journal so that educators can connect the race with lessons surrounding a real event in real time and transition that learning to their own local communities. As you report back to classrooms via the internet, be a part of an academic success story that inspires students to learn and gain skills necessary to help lead them down the trail of reaching their own goals and dreams. Represent the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race and educators everywhere in the teaching adventure of a lifetime. Iditarod is the last great race. It is a vehicle to transport students to academic success. So that's why I fully believe in it. And then these are just former teachers on the trail and things that they'll do and things that I will have an opportunity to do. So in the top left-hand corner, that's who started the Teacher on the Trail program in 1999. Mrs. Walker actually took this picture in Idaho when we were there last summer. So that is the sleeping bag that I will sleep in Alaska that gets passed down for the past 20 years. If you notice, there are patches on there. So I need to create a marshwood patch, and that will go on there, and it will be with all the other teachers.
Wow, that's awesome.
The woman on the right-hand corner is actually my mentor that I talk with once a week and like gives me my assignments of reading and things of what we're going to do. The bottom, the Iditarod one, is what I get to do for the Anchorage ceremonial start for 11 miles. I get to be the rider on the sled this year, next year. That is the plane that I will fly on. Oh my gosh. And that is a classroom in Alaska that one of the teachers on the trail were teaching in. So I just wanted to show you the range of things
That's so cool.
that I get the opportunity to bring back for the kids in the district. And then, this is where I use my AI skills. One of the kids has on, I think, this t-shirt. Yep, you have on that t-shirt. You have on the saying. So I could not do this alone, so for me, it has to be a huge thank you to my family and my friends. Christy Corbo, who listened to everything. Lynn Walker, who is my partner in crime. John Cavalley wrote me an amazing recommendation for this. My 6th grade teenies, I could not do it without the teachers that I teach with. Christine Goulet for her undivided support. Heidi, thank you for your support so much. Colleagues past and present, it's been amazing. I actually got a letter from my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Bradstreet, which was so heartening that she lives in Kittery and she had paid attention and she wrote about what we did in 4th grade and how she followed this. And students past and present, of course my present think that they are the best, however, past. And my amazing community, it's been so great to talk to so many people in the community. So here, just lastly, these are my goals for when I become teacher on the trail to bring back to the district. Model being a lifelong learner. Cece, do I do that?
Yes.
Okay. Design engaging and unique themes and lessons. Where's B? Do I do that? B? Do I design unique lessons for you? Okay. Collaborate with mushers, volunteers, and natives. I can't wait to bring back what they do in their classrooms to our kids here. Integrate multidisciplinary planning, that is with my awesome teamies. Promote volunteerism and community support and service. I did not realize that the whole entire race is done by volunteers. So if they can put that on across 1,000 miles, we can do things here better and we can have more volunteer opportunities. Be a resource for educators and students around the world. Create strong connections with experts. Incorporate sensory inclusive experiences, right, Taylor? Attract all ages and abilities to the Iditarod and ignite reading excitement through the adventure genre. Of course, right? Iditarod.
Yeah.
So these are just resources. Even the parents got that. This was just if any of you want to have a copy of this. these are resources that you can go on and learn more about it if you are interested in it at all. But more importantly, I want the kids to share. I asked if they wanted to come, if you could either share something that you learned, something that you're going to remember 10 years from now, or I have some of them that, for my interview, when I had to create a lesson, I did 2 lies and a truth, and they created a bingo card with that and played bingo. So some of them are going to read the 2 lies and a truth and see if you can figure out the answer. So I'm going to have Evie go first. And then Evie, you know what you get to do? You get to call on the next person.
I'm indecisive. I can't.
I'll help you.
Okay, so first we did musher log entries, and for our things, it wasn't just based off creativity. We had a picture, a video, or piece of card that had a scenario on it that we had to write about and tell a story through our musher's eyes. And then I have a did you know fact. Did you know that a musher ran the Iditarod with a team of poodles for 4 years, leading to the rule only Alaskan bred dogs like Malamutes and Huskies and sometimes Greyhounds to run? You got to miss out on being first. You get to go second.
So I did one of those bingo cards. At what point along the race does the restart time get adjusted? Either the first checkpoint, the 8-hour stop, or the 24-hour stop. Does anyone want to guess?
24?
Nope. It is the 24-hour stop.
Wow.
Okay, you get to pick the next one.
I also have another 2 lies and a truth. This one is, who is awarded the Red Lantern Award? First place team, last place team, or most supportive team? Does anyone have any guesses? You in the back?
Last one.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Mario. Here you go.
All right. So I also have another 2 truths and a lie. What is the dog that is permitted to race in the Iditarod? This is a breed. The Greyhound, Poodle, or Husky. And I might pass this around so other people can go, but they might try and find the spelling error.
So what happened? Why did I put that on there? What's the answer?
Husky.
Husky. And what's wrong with a husky?
Huskey.
And what's the matter with that?
There's no E.
Oh, so what happened when they found that error?
They
Up in
would
Alaska. What
they would say
happened?
bingo.
They would say bingo and they automatically got a prize, didn't they?
Ah.
Why did we find that error? No.
I don't want to say. I don't want to say.
All right, you pass.
All right, Claire.
I accidentally ripped it. This year, I was faced with a lot of challenges, and a lot of them are based during the Iditarod and Iditarod unit. I had to learn to work through these challenges and find different ways that would help me learn. One of the things that I struggled with in this unit was putting myself into a musher's shoes and riding as a musher racing the Iditarod. I think this unit helped me figure out helped me figure out what I may need to help myself with in the future and things that I feel more confident in now that this unit is over. I think that this unit is an essential part of the 6th grade curriculum.
Thank you. Okay.
So this is a different student that wanted to be shared. Her name is Faye, and she wrote, "A lesson I learned from studying the Iditarod is that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. It's all about having faith in yourself. Perseverance is the key to success. So just remember, if all these mushers can run the Iditarod, then you can face the challenges life can bring." Then for me, something I learned in the Iditarod that's going to stick with me is life
life can like bring challenges, and sometimes you just gotta go through them. And a lesson I learned was about life from studying the Iditarod is that you can make new friends and just have fun.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sadie. What I learned about this year's Iditarod is that sometimes it's hard to accomplish Iditarod because there can be challenging courses along the way. I even got to see the rookie musher over Google Meet with her twice. Her name was Jay Fouché, which was so cool. We also gave her so much stuff from Maine. I'm so happy for Mrs. Schaff because she gets to be the teacher on the trip. P.S. I asked if I could go with her, but she said no.
Hi, I'm Olive, and I'm obviously Miss Schaaf's favorite student. I learned about the Red Lantern Award, which is given to the last person to finish the race. It showed me that even if you don't win, finishing is still important, and you can be proud because you didn't give up. It also taught me that everyone's journey is different, and finishing can still be a big accomplishment. You don't have to be first to do something great.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
Hi, I'm Bella, and I am Miss Shaw's favorite of all time. I love learning about the Iditarod. My favorite thing I learned was the weird rules. Like if you drop your cooker, you automatically have to scratch. I think that's pretty weird. My favorite thing, I have learned so much. I've had so fun learning about the Iditarod, and I hope you have a fun time in Alaska.
Good evening, my name's Erin, and I'm Miss Shaw's favorite, actually. Okay, and something I've learned about the Iditarod is that the Iditarod can be very, very stressful and hard, and exciting and fun at the same time. One thing that can be hard and stressful is that one of your dogs can get hurt or sick, and, yeah. Hard and stressful is the, I get my writing wrong. Hard and stressful is that one of your dogs can get hurt and you can't add dogs after the race. And one thing that can be exciting and fun is just being in the race unless you wanted to be in the Iditarod and you want to accomplish your dream. Evelyn. You're last.
I liked the Iditarod unit because we got to learn more about the Iditarod. Like, it's not easy to take care of all the dogs like in your house. And I learned this from the rookie musher that came to our school. You can't get much money from like racing dogs.
Right.
Hi, I'm Cece, and I don't know what these people are saying, but I am Miss Shaw's favorite student. I wrote it down first, so this is my Anyway, one thing the Iditarod reminds me of is optimism, hopefulness, and confidence about the future. Mushers have to be optimistic all the time. They are out there in the wilderness all alone with a full team of dogs for at least a week, maybe 2. A few things that could happen are markers could be buried in the snow so you lose your way, your dogs could get sick, or one of them might get hurt, or a wild animal might attack you and your team. Those are only a few of the many hard things that could happen when you race in the Iditarod. But even through all that, mushers are optimistic. They have to be. If they never see the positive side of things, it's going to be a long race. They are in the most beautiful place in Alaska, so it might not be too hard, but still, even in real life situations, it's hard to be optimistic. For me, I tried out for different dances for my dance team this year and didn't get into as many as I would have liked. So it's hard for me to be optimistic when I watch my friends do something I want to be part of. One thing that the Iditarod has taught me is to be optimistic. Sometimes the most amazing things are hidden behind sadness, anger, and jealousy. I hope you all enjoyed my amazing teacher's presentation.
Last thing, what did this come questions and
Some certain checkpoints.
from certain checkpoints because people win prizes, right? Okay, so do you want to go share these? Okay, you want to go share them and see? We will happily take any questions that you have, or we will let you continue your meeting. Thank you. I know that you'll answer that.
I just want to say congratulations, first of all.
Yes.
And I feel like the Iditarod unit is one of those, like, we often talk about, ooh, thank you. We often talk about like touch point experiences at Marshwood. And I feel like the Iditarod unit
Yep.
is one of those like
Yep.
touch points. Like I called my daughter who's graduating college and was like, you're never gonna believe what's happening. And she was like, oh my gosh, like just as excited as like for you that knowing that how impactful the Iditarod unit was. So
Yeah.
we're excited
Yes.
for you.
Thank you so much. And we can watch the progress of this on the website?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming,
Thanks for
and
coming.
you do not have to feel as though you need to stay. You're welcome to stay, but you do not have to stay.
Thank you.
It's such a cool experience.
So amazing.
To
It's
see all the
so
stuff she
cool.
brings back next year.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah.
great.
So cool.
Yeah. All right. So the next item on my report is a budget update. So I wanted to just take a minute, and one thing that I decided to do this year is to write a letter to the community about the budget, which, assuming we move forward with our budget tonight, this will go out to the community later on this week. And I wanted to read it to you guys tonight, and then just kind of summarizes the work that we've done and the changes that we made as part of our budget workshop process. And Ryan's going to throw some images up here for us to look at different points during the reading. So, dear Marshwood community, I'm proud to present the school board's recommended budget for fiscal year 2027. I feel a strong sense of responsibility in doing so. Over the past several months, the district leadership team and the school board have worked closely together to build a plan that both sustains the excellence of MSAD 35 and thoughtfully responds to the changing needs of our students and our schools. This process has been thorough, collaborative, and intentional. We revisited our class size guidelines, carefully analyzed enrollment and achievement data, and looked ahead to emerging needs across the district. Following multiple budget workshops and meaningful discussions with our administrators, the school board hopefully will adopt this budget and now bring it forward to the community for consideration. The superintendent's budget was presented on March 11th. Since then, the school board has held 3 budget workshops on March 18th, April 1st, and April 15th, all of which were open to the public. During those workshops, the board discussed the recommended budget, asked questions, and were able to provide feedback to me. Each year, our budget is shaped by both data and lived experience in our schools. Over the past decade, MSAD 35 has seen a 14.7% decline in enrollment, with the most significant decrease occurring, 207 students, occurring between 2017 and 2021. Over the past 5 years, however, enrollment has stabilized, with a net decline over the last 5 years of just 37 students. So it's pretty flat. While overall numbers have steadied, student needs have evolved in some important ways that have impacted this year's budget. We've seen increases in students who require special education services. We've seen increases in multilingual learners. We've seen increases in students who are experiencing homelessness. We've seen more students who need to be supported under Section 504 plans and more students qualifying for free and reduced lunch. These shifts require more specialized support and in many cases additional staffing and resources. I included a chart with some enrollment trends that just kind of capture what I just talked about. This budget was guided by clear goals. In the fall of 2025, the school board established 4 key priorities that continue to guide our work. A focus on student engagement and growth, academic excellence and support for all students, a culture of compassion and connection, and a commitment to preparing future-ready learners. The 2026-27 budget is intentionally designed around these goals. As with any budget, we had to navigate some financial pressure, and we had 3 significant cost drivers that shaped this year's budget. The first was an unknown and what turned out to be an 8.71% increase in health insurance premiums. We knew that health insurance was going to be a big driver. It's not just for us, it's for everybody. We had contractual salary increases ranging from 3 to 3.8%, and we had a growing number of special education students who require additional support staff. So in response to those pressures, we worked to reduce impact wherever possible, find as many efficiencies as we could, reallocate existing staff, and align staffing carefully with our class size guidelines. I organized the budget around strategic investments for learning, and this image kind of captures what some of those strategic investments were. So even in an environment, a challenging financial environment, we really believe that this budget makes meaningful investments in students in some key areas. We have expanded world language opportunities. So we are able to increase our capacity to offer world language classes, enhance global readiness, and cultural immersion. We've also found ways to add additional opportunities to help create future-ready learners by increasing technology offerings at Marshwood High School, by increasing hands-on learning opportunities at Marshwood Middle School, and by starting to think about how our ELO program might even be able to positively impact our middle school students. Additional math intervention support is another strategic investment in this year's budget. We've added some additional math intervention support to just continue to build on the progress we've already made in the last couple of years in the area of mathematics. And we also invested in our Growing Hawks program, which you heard about a couple of months ago from the middle school, just really solidifying that program and making sure that every student at Marshwood Middle School has access to it. In addition to those things, we're investing in the student experience through the development of an outdoor play space at Marshwood Middle School, enhancing safety features across all our schools, and really looking for ways to support those experiential learning opportunities at multiple grade levels. Marshwood schools continue to provide an excellent, exceptional value for our community. Our students consistently outperform state averages, often by 10 to 20% across all assessed areas. We exceed the performance of many neighboring districts, including many with greater financial resources, while maintaining a lower per pupil spending amount. This chart really captures the concept of value to our community when you see Marshwood with our per pupil spending in purple below $20,000, and yet when you look at the green line, that represents our reading proficiency, the orange line represents math proficiency. You can see that while we're spending less, our students are achieving at a very high level, which I think is an excellent value to the community. I did also want to just highlight some of the academic achievement that Marshwood students are able to accomplish. So this is some of the academic achievement factors that we looked at when we look at Marshwood High School, and I think it's important. We have academic achievement factors that we could point to in any of our schools. Choosing to highlight the high school only because it really represents the end of a journey for our students, and it really represents the work of all our schools as students move through. So we have really good success with our AP program. We have over an 80% pass rate, which is a score of 3 or higher, when the nationwide average is about 60%. We had 95 students enrolled in career and technical education programs this past year. We had 62 students who participated in ELO programs, and we had 119 students who earned early college credit. So those are just some really wonderful, positive achievements that I think it's important the community know about. But just as important, we remain committed to educating the whole child. It's not just about the academic achievement, it's about the kind of people that we produce. And our emphasis on kindness and character and connection is evident in everything from classroom culture to extracurriculars. This year alone, Marshwood High School athletic teams have earned 7 sportsmanship awards over just the fall and winter season. And those are awards that are voted on by other athletes around our conference. So there's other students saying, we believe Marshwood teams deserve this recognition. Our athletes are showing character and kindness to their competitors. And we still have spring sports season ahead of us. Our record at Marshwood is 8 in a year, and the state record is 9.
Wow.
So, who knows? Our schools continue to serve as vibrant community hubs through performances, events, and partnerships. I did also want to just talk a little bit about the work we did with our class size guidelines and the projections for the coming year. We reviewed the district class size policy, and I just wanted to show you all in the community sort of where we're projecting to be for the coming year. So pre-K, remember the allowable class size for pre-K is anything under 16 with a teacher and an educational technician. That's a hard number. We can't go past 16. We're projecting pre-K to be between 14 and 15 next year, although that's the hardest one to predict because we're still doing pre-K registration right now. Kindergarten by policy is 14 to 18. We're projecting 15 to 17 right now. Grade 1, again, it's 14 to 18, and we're projecting 14 to 17. Grade 2 is 18 to 22. We're looking at 18 to 20. Grade 3 is 18 to 22. We're looking at 17 to 18 in grade 3. Grade 4 is 18 to 22, and we're looking at 19 to 20. The middle school and high school can be a little trickier with the way that we group kids, but we have an 18 to 25 recommendation by policy, and we're projecting to be about 17 to 22 at the middle school. The high school is 15 to 25, and we're projecting 14 to 25 right now. So we really try to shoot for the middle of those ranges whenever we can, and it's been really helpful. It's really helpful to have that policy to lean on as we make decisions about staffing. So I feel really good about where we're at with that. So how the budget is structured. To provide clarity, budget increases have been organized into 3 categories. So the first thing we talked about was this idea of base adjustments and roll forward. This is just rolling forward those things that we already have in place. So it covers contractual benefits. We have salary increases that total $725,707 across approximately 400 employees, with cost of living increases ranging from 3 to 3.8%. And we have health insurance increase for next year that was originally budgeted at 10%. I'll say a little more about that later. The next sort of category of the budget is the strategic investments and reductions. This includes targeted changes such as restructured leadership and support role at Central School to provide that assistant principal position for both instructional support and safety. Expanded administrative support for our growing athletic programs, both at the middle school and high school. Some additional funding for student experiences such as the grade 5 Pinkham Notch trip, the new full-time math interventionist, an additional half-time world language teacher, additional technology instruction at Marshwood High School, the replacement of 3 high mileage vans. Our vans put a lot of miles on. The investment in the playground development and improvements at Marshwood Middle School for outdoor space, and the elimination of a small central office grants position that we no longer need. And then we have some level service adjustments. The level service adjustments are some things that we had to consider and put into the budget to allow us to continue to provide the same level of service but respond to changes in student needs. So the biggest factor there is $400,000 increase for educational technicians to support students that have individual education plans. Those special education students, we have more of them and some of their needs are more significant. We have a $25,000 increase for athletic training services. Remember, this is part of the existing ongoing contract that we phased in over time. We have a reduction, a 0.5 reduction each in science and social studies at the high school. And again, this goes back to our class size policy and the declining enrollment pieces that really haven't necessarily been addressed in the last several years. So we have looked real closely at class size and felt that taking those 2 half-time positions was something that we could do this year. And initial analysis of student signups looks really positive in terms of still plenty of room for kids to get the classes they need, which is great. We also adjusted, saved some money, $100,000, by doing some bus route consolidation, which is something we were forced to do at the beginning of this year because of our driver shortage. We've got our system down where it's working pretty well now, and we feel like we can move forward with that consolidation in place pretty effectively. So as a result of our budget workshop process, the board discussed several things, and we made a few minor adjustments. So during our recent budget workshop, the board discussed participation in athletics at Marshwood High School. One concern raised was that this past fall, several upperclassmen who had previously participated in boys soccer were cut from the team due to limited roster space. For these students, there were few, if any, alternative opportunities in the community to stay active and engaged. In response, the school board elected to add $12,104 to the proposed budget. This funding is intended to provide flexibility to support up to 2 additional teams if student interest in a particular sport exceeds the district's capacity to accommodate all participants. It's important to note that this funding is not designated simply for boys soccer. It would be available to support any sport where participation demand is high enough that students would benefit from having an additional team. The goal is to ensure that as many students as possible have access to extracurriculars that promote physical health, teamwork, and student engagement. Keep as many kids engaged as we can. During our budget workshop, our student rep, Zora, raised the important question with the school board regarding advanced placement courses and exam costs at Marshwood High School. Advanced placement exams cost approximately $100 each and are required for all students who take AP courses at Marshwood High School. The student Zora shared that this expense can be a barrier for some, potentially limiting access to those academically rigorous opportunities. Zora took it upon herself to do her own research with her peers and really gather that data and presented it to the board. And, the board really sees the benefit. AP exams offer those significant benefits to students. Students who earn a 3 or higher, depending on which school they go to, may be eligible to receive college credit, saving both time and tuition costs in the future. So in response to that student feedback, the board agreed to add $30,000 to the 2026-27 budget to fully cover the cost of AP exams for all students. This investment is intended to remove financial barriers, expand equitable access to AP coursework, and support students in pursuing college-level learning while still in high school. During the budget development process, the district initially projected a 10% increase in health insurance. However, after receiving the official rate information from the Maine Education Association Benefits Trust, the actual increase for the 26-27 school year was determined to be 8.71%. This was lower than the expected increase and resulted in a savings of $42,104. The school board then chose to reallocate these savings to support additional items described above, including the athletic opportunities and the AP exam costs. As a result, the 2 adjustments I just explained were added with no overall change to the total proposed budget. So, in conclusion, this budget reflects careful choices, a commitment to students, and a belief in the strength of our schools. It balances fiscal responsibility with the need to invest in programs, people, and experiences that define a Marshwood education. Thank you for your continued support, engagement, and partnership. Together, we are ensuring that our schools remain strong, responsive, and focused on the success of every student.
Thank you.
So good, Heidi.
Yeah, really appreciate that.
Excellent work.
Thank you.
So that is just, I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
Before it goes out. Our plan is to post this on the website. We'll email it home to all of our families, and then we're also going to bring hard copies to the towns to have
Oh, good. Perfect.
for people that are in the town hall and they want to grab one, anything like that.
That's great. Thank
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Will you have some available too, the night of the?
Yeah, they'll be part of the packet. These will be part of the
Great.
budget packet
Okay,
on the
great.
11th.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you for indulging my
Very
lengthy reading.
Very helpful.
Very helpful, very clear.
Next on my agenda, I would like to invite Mr. Gratian and his son, it looks like, to tell us a little bit about the band and chorus trip that recently happened. They went to Chicago.
Sorry. Double duty. All right, so I'm really just gonna let Patrick talk so I can advance the slides for people
Perfect.
at home. But put together a slide with some pictures of some of the things I got to see while they were there. Patrick can explain it, and then Heidi did ask about a performance, and I couldn't get kids here, but I do have a recording of
I
one
love
of the
that.
performances from
That's
Chicago
awesome.
if I went, yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, so, we went to Chicago. It was, what, 4 days? 4 days. We got to, go to a bunch of different places to, explore, the activities in Chicago, famous places. And on our second to last day, we performed. And so the first day, we went to the Water Tower Mall. And that up there is one of the only remaining buildings from before the Chicago fire. So that was a pretty cool thing to see. And it was just kind of a nice thing because the Foxar Mall is no longer here. So it was nice for people that maybe miss going to the mall to be in a mall. And they got to have that experience. So that was a cool thing. And then we also we went to the Bean because you kind of have to. And, we went to the Art Institute of Chicago, and there was all sorts of cool stuff. There was painting, photography, sculptures, every kind of art. And I know I was with some other kids who were really into it and got a lot out of that. They're analyzing every painting they saw, and they absolutely loved it. And then we went to the John Hancock building, to the 94th floor. Got to see a really cool view of all around us of the city and the beach. Those are just some pictures that were taken up there. And then one of our dinners, we went to Gino's East, where we had a deep dish pizza. I know a lot of kids really liked that. And we went to see the Chicago Symphony. It was really, really impressive. And I talked to some kids in chorus, and they said seeing this level of musicianship with instruments gave them a better appreciation of the instruments and the other side of music from what they do.
For the record, this is all the first day.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
So, last year, 3 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
And we got back to the hotel around 10:30 Chicago time.
Oh my gosh.
After that performance.
Wow.
Wow.
A few of us might have fallen asleep there.
Yeah, I couldn't keep my eyes open. And the next day we went to the Griffin Museum of Science, and I know a lot of people seem to enjoy the exhibit about global warming and climate change and how it's affecting Earth. That's the picture in the top left is just from the exhibit. And there were a lot of cool science things, and there were also a lot of not just science, but there were planes from history and all sorts of old things you could explore any kind of interest, not just super sciencey stuff. So, kids enjoyed that.
You could walk through an airplane that was suspended down the 727 or something that was suspended from the ceiling. You could walk in the length of the plane, and they had clear glass in the bottom so you could see into the
Oh, wow.
You see the whole anatomy of the airplane.
That's pretty cool.
And I think there was also a thing where you could walk through the human body. Like, I didn't go on that, but I heard it seemed pretty cool. And then after that, we had lunch at the Navy Pier. Some of us went to margaritas, pretty good food. And then after that, we went on a untouchable gangster tour on our bus. And that was our tour guide, Johnny Rocco. And we went just all around Chicago. And we learned a lot of history about, like, the crime bosses and like St. Valentine's Day Massacre, all sorts of historical events. Kids really enjoyed that. Then we had dinner at Dave & Buster's. I mean, the food is Dave & Buster's, but it was pretty good to just have a buffet and not have to wait for food. You can just get it and after the long day, just not worry about that too much. And the picture in the middle, they got to be the claw in the claw machine. So that was one thing that looked pretty
That's
fun.
hilarious.
And there aren't a lot of arcades around here, so I'm sure that was fun for people that don't get to experience that as much.
Did you get a prize?
I did not.
So it's hard to see, but that's Bear Gray in that photo.
Alright, so the next day we had our performances. The band got a gold medal and came in second place, and the chorus got a silver medal. And then after that, we went to medieval times.
That's cool.
It was a really fun experience. There was, lots of impressive tricks with horses. There was a falcon, and they had all sorts of dueling and jousting, and it was very entertaining. And after the dinner, we still at medieval times had our all the schools that participated in the festival had their awards ceremony. And so those are pictures of us with our awards, like the gold and the silver. That's Charlotte Smith with a special award she got as a senior, and I think that she was offered the opportunity to play at Carnegie Hall, right? Yes.
So it's a judge's award. I think they called it an ovation award. And so the judges picked her out as she and Patrick did a mallet duet while we played on one of our pieces, and they singled Charlotte out to receive that award. So she's eligible to go perform at Carnegie Hall next year as part of one of their student festival things. And she's still trying to find out the details of it, whether or not it works out with her schedule next year, being off on her new adventures. But so that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
And thank you for all your support in the music program and allowing us to go to Chicago. And if anyone has any questions, they can ask them. But
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was the festival you participated in?
World Strides Heritage.
World Strides
World Strides Heritage
Festival.
Music. Yeah, World Strides Heritage Music Festival. Yeah.
And we've done that before. So DC in 08, Philadelphia in 2010, and then New York several times. That's usually the festival that we're participating in, although not always. The last New York festival was a different festival, but the company we use.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you'd like, we do have a little.
Yeah, let's
Yes,
let's hear it.
definitely.
Let's hear it.
About 3 minutes. It's not very long.
That's great.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That was the piece that Patrick and Charlotte did the duet on there on the mouths. And Charlotte was going to be here, but she's out competing with the track meet. So she was hoping her events would be done, but they were running a little behind. So she
Thank you.
for sharing.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
thank you so
awesome.
much. All right. So the next item on my report tonight is just to talk a little bit about our June 3rd board meeting, which it seems far away, but it's our next board meeting because May 11th, we have our
Right.
district budget meeting, and then this is technically our
May.
first May meeting, so we won't meet again until the first meeting in June, and that will be our top 10 and retirees meeting.
Wow.
So I just wanted to check in about that meeting. Do we carry on as we have in the past? Are there any changes, thoughts?
It will be a 7 o'clock start, right?
7 o'clock, yeah.
There is no conflict with convocation.
Okay.
Right.
And so 7 o'clock start.
Okay.
We'll do it in the auditorium as we have in the past.
Okay.
Right.
Love it.
Perfect. Also just wanted to confirm, we talked when we met last about board meeting dates for summer. So we tentatively, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We tentatively identified July 15th and August 19th as board meeting dates with a workshop before each to work on the strategic planning stuff. Is that still what we want? I can get that squared?
Yep.
We didn't
Yes.
find any conflicts?
No.
Great. I reached out to Superintendent Lane from Rollinsford, and she is going to confirm with her board that we can meet in September instead of August with Rollinsford, and she didn't seem to think it would be a problem. They have a meeting coming up that she was going to ask them, so I'll report back when I hear from her.
Great.
Let's see. The next item is just to have a quick brainstorming session about potential board workshops for next year. I'd love to hear from you guys, like, what would you like for workshops, and what worked or didn't work for you this year?
I'll go. So you just mentioned the two important ones around the strategic plan and goals for next year that will take place over the summer. We owe ourselves a workshop on the board self-evaluation, which is something that we had hoped to get done in the spring, but events caught up with us. So that's a workshop we would like to have in the fall.
Okay.
All right, is
I would like maybe an update on restorative practices. They're doing a lot of work. Update at some point would be good. Maybe it doesn't have to be right at the beginning of the year.
right?
Yeah.
It's
I
like
didn't
more
mean workshop, I
presentation.
meant presentation. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about workshops, sorry.
Yeah.
It can be, yeah, this is workshops, but that's okay.
good idea.
Oh, we
Yeah.
need to do our, did we just say self-evaluation?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know, I'm not in the,
I totally zoned out.
Yeah.
We can always add that.
Let's add.
them
Yeah.
later. Yeah, I think we have a good start with.
Yeah, mostly getting the strategic planning, I think, and the self-eval
Self-eval,
stuff in
yeah.
there is important.
Those are.
Yes, and we will have a new superintendent coming up, so we should save some room to see if anything
Yep.
comes up that way.
Yep. Good point.
And do we have a timeline on the superintendent evaluation? Is
We
that
do.
Yes.
I thought I sent it out in a text message. I will go resurrect it and send it to you folks. But yes, we're right in the start of the process.
Okay.
It typically starts in early May, actually, and goes through the middle of June. So I'll refresh us all on the timeline.
Perfect. We're not behind.
No, you're not.
Fantastic. I love that. And I do not see students with us tonight, so I'm assuming we do not have a student report tonight. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you very much. No correspondence on which to report, so we'll get right into the reports of the committees. Finance and Facilities will next meet on June 17th.
That's insane.
So
I know.
we'll get a report out after that meeting.
Wow.
Ed Policy met this morning. We had a super productive meeting this morning. We had, I think, 8 policies on the agenda, and we tore through all 8 of them.
You sure
And
did.
I believe 7 of them will be coming up in our June 3rd meeting. for
Yes.
first reads.
Yep.
And wellness SEL, had earlier this evening.
We did.
Please.
You can kind of tag team this
Sure,
here.
yep.
We started by reviewing our policy as part of we're doing a district wellness action plan and goals to sort of put some bumpers around the work that we're doing with the wellness committee. And sort of at the top of that starts with reviewing the wellness policy. At first we were like, what is the policy? What do we have for wellness policies? What do other policies look like? So just started by taking a look at that, had some discussion around there. Talked about what's happening at the different schools with student staff wellness, touched on adult ed wellness opportunities, and one of the biggest takeaways is we're going to meet over the summer to focus on an action plan and goals, sort of driving the focus of the wellness committee for the year. And we really do want to focus on getting some student reps and involvement, and really getting some students, 1 or 2 or 3, who really want to stay consistently involved. Maybe throughout the idea of like, what is that, like an ELO, would that be an ELO opportunity, or what would that look like? But really, we want to have strong student voice in this committee. So getting some students who can really commit to being part of it. And then, yeah, made our summer meeting date. What else?
That was it.
Is that it? Okay.
Can I interject with regard to student involvement on the board and that thing? We talked, I think, in our last meeting
Yes.
about the possibility of making the students honorary voters in each of the things
Yes.
that we vote on.
Yes.
That will take action on the board in terms of an update to the bylaws.
Okay.
So this is something that we look at every year. At our second meeting in June, I believe, it's the same meeting that we do our organizational stuff for the coming year. I would be happy to do some proposed language for what that might look like, and I'll send it around for review. I would love to be able to discuss it and get it into the agenda for that June 17th, I think it is, meeting.
Okay.
That'd
be great.
And when is it that we find out who our new student rep is, and how does that?
I
That's-
just am writing a note to myself.
Okay.
Check
I was
in with
curious.
Dr. Gowers about where we are in that process.
Okay.
I'll check in with him tomorrow and give you guys
Reps.
an update.
And I'm wondering if Sora will continue?
Yeah,
Yes.
Zara will become the senior.
Yeah.
rep.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Good, she's been great.
She's been great.
Yeah.
Okay, that concludes reports from the committees. And brings us to new business. May I have a motion, please, to adopt the fiscal year budget?
I move to approve the fiscal year 2026-2027 district budget.
Second, Heather.
Heather, thank you. Comments, questions?
Appreciate your
Yes.
wonderful summary,
Wonderful.
reaching out to the community, explaining it again, and really just, going through the detailed approach and what our goals are and how they match it and how we've saved money and where we're enhancing areas. It's great. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Sorry, I would add that we super appreciate the fact that you stepped in the way you did.
Yes.
As the interim superintendent to take this process on and to shepherd it through. This was a really good result.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Any other comments or questions? I feel like I should do a drum roll.
I know.
All in favor? That's 4-0. The district budget is approved. It is now the board's budget, and we'll go to the district budget meeting in May. Motion, please, with regard to the call and approve the warrants language.
I move that the vote entitled, "Vote to Call and Approve the Warrants for the Budget Meeting and the Budget Validation Referendum, and to authorize the notice of amounts adopted, be approved in form presented to this meeting, and that a copy of said vote be included with the minutes of this meeting."
Second, Heather.
Heather, thank you. All in favor? That is 4-0. May I have a motion, please? Okay, so that concludes the budget stuff. Again,
Yes,
reminder,
yes.
stay after the meeting.
Yes, yes.
The night of 1,000 signatures.
Yes.
Motion, please, with regard to approving the nomination of the first-year probation teachers for second-year probation.
I move to go. I move to approve the nomination of first-year probationary teachers for second-year probationary teachers for the 2026-2027 school year per the attached list.
Second, Heather.
And you all saw the packet?
Yep. Yeah.
So just going forward?
Yep.
Any questions or comments?
No.
All in favor? It's 4-0. Good, thank you. May I have a motion, please, with regard to moving the second-year probationary teachers onto continuing contract?
I move to approve the nomination of second-year probationary teachers for continuing contract for the 2026-2027 school year per the attached list.
Second, Rebecca.
Thank you. Comments or questions? All in favor? It's 4-0. We are moving them forward. Motion, please, with regard to the nomination of Kevin Fillion.
I move to approve the nomination of Kevin Fillion, continuing contract, it should be gifted and talented teacher, Marshwood Middle School, school year 2026-2027, masters plus 15, step 20, $96,598.
Second, Rebecca. Sorry.
Rebecca, thank you.
You guys all know Mr. Fillion.
Yes.
Indeed.
So Mr. Fillion has been really interested in making the transition to a gifted and talented role. He wasn't expecting it to happen necessarily this quickly, but Tracy LaPointe has decided to retire, as we talked about earlier, and so the opportunity presented itself. We did have a process where we interviewed a couple people. He was the candidate of choice. He's really excited about this role, really excited to get the opportunity to work with kids in a different way. And yeah, I'm excited about it. He's excited about it. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Comments or questions? All in favor? It's 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Fillion. Okay, that concludes new business. Brings us to the administrator check-in.
We had a lot going on. I had to write it down so I could remember. The week coming back from break, we had Northeast Passage at our school for the, Miss Kristen Teedy has worked with UNH to have them in for the whole week. So every student in PE was able to experience abilities awareness. It was just so exciting to see. I got to sit in on one session and all having the games with wheelchairs and being able to explain to the children what adaptive sports are. And it's just great timing because we've actually had kids recently be talking about our adaptive track and field coming up in May and asking who gets to go, why do you get to go? And some of the teachers really struggle with kind of answering that. So just the language that we were able to hear, and so powerful. We've also had our jump rope for heart today. So our third graders were all jump roping outside, which was wonderful. I got to see a student break the record for 50 jumps in a row, and it was just so cute seeing 30 kids pile on him, cheering him on. We had our STEM day where the Navy shipyard came and volunteered all day for every grade level to do experiences. We had our book fair, buy one, get one free, and popsicles. We also, a big thing that we've been working on, our first grade decided to do, there's a National Screen Free Week next week. So our first grade had decided to do it as a whole first grade, and I've really gotten into it where they're going back to basics, even doing Lexi on paper, we're doing no screens, and encouraging home no screens. Then the whole school got behind it, so we're actually doing pre-K through third grade. We're doing a no screen week that includes both weekends and trying to include the community and trying to include parents and do some of the compacts up to agree to do no screen. So we did draw the line at attendance. They wanted to go to paper attendance. I'm like, I think that will be a lot of work. So I'm trying to talk about, we are living in a technology age here. So we do have to still do attendance on the computer, but it's just we're turning off all, just no screens, even teaching without screens. So just the message that how important it is, and we're modeling that for ourselves. So we're excited about our screen-free week starting on Monday.
That's good.
That's
awesome. Yay.
Do you have a date for the?
Yeah, adaptive
what's the date
track.
For the adaptive track?
May 18th.
Okay,
Thank you. I was just asking that.
Yep.
Okay,
I always love that.
yes.
Hello. Lots of things going on at Elliott Elementary.
I think we all know that once we come back from April vacation, the year just seems to fly. And then when you start looking at the calendar, it's like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna get everything in? But right before break, we had our book fair. We had kids buying books all week. Family night was hugely attended, which was great. I think I shared with you a little while ago that our kindergarten kiddos with their teachers tapped the trees and made maple syrup. And right before vacation, they had their parents come and they made pancakes and had a pancake breakfast together in the cafeteria. Every kid had somebody there. It was an amazing event. Our cafeteria was packed, and it was just a wonderful event, and it just felt really good to have people in the building like that. Our third graders and second graders are getting ready for our hike through history, trolley back in time. Our third graders are headed to the Trolley Museum in Kennebunk to do a little research for the project. That's coming up next week or the week after, but they're super excited about that. We have our race coming up on May 15th. That's our big fundraiser for the year. Our peeps have been working really hard to get ready for that, and money is already starting to come in. Our second graders dressed for colonial times, and they were able to go visit Mrs. Sarah Boner at the one-room schoolhouse. It was an amazing day. Everyone had a great time. It was nice because we have a new teacher at that grade level, so it was fun to share with somebody else, and we get some different parents there. Second graders are getting ready to head out on the gondola. Our first graders have been to the Children's Museum. And I think Heidi already shared this, but we just recently received 2 MEF grants for almost $8,000 between the two. Really excited for the trolley back in time, but also our kindergarten teachers are kind of taking the lead for some outdoor learning opportunities at our school. So thank you to MEF.
Great.
Great.
I'll just say ditto. So I've got a leadership meeting tomorrow. It's about 7:15. So I asked Maura, administrative assistant in the office, I said, can you just print the things we've got going on, just so we make sure we're all on the same page. And you get this list like this. There's not that many days left. But we do have, like, our 5th graders, they're heading off to an estuary study over in Wells. 4th graders at the beginning of June, they're using the ropes course here at the high school. If you remember a few years ago, we were spending like $20,000 to take the kiddos to the Brown Center. And it's challenged by choice. And so we've got some folks that are licensed, certified. Connor Cavalli did that. And so last year we used the high school. And Christine, thank you, we're able to use folks from the middle school as well. So it's all done, it's done here, and it's done with our kids. And we talked with the teachers at the end of last year, and our kids got so many more opportunities to do the climbing and really stretch themselves here versus going to the Brown Center. The Brown Center was great, don't get me wrong, but it was just the way it was run. So the 4th graders, they come for a half a day, and we just have a bus running up and down 236. So we've got that. We've got a ton of things going along with our step-up days and things like that. Right about now, I would say there's mayhem at Pinkham Knott because the night at 8:30 the night program stops, and now the kids are getting ready for showers and beds and things like that. So our first group left this morning. And of course, if you look about a week out, I start looking at the weather forecast, and it looks soggy tomorrow. I know Sarah Lincoln's class, they had to take an oath. She made them raise the right hand and say, I do know that I'm going to get soaked tomorrow, and I'm still going to do it with a smile. And so we've got a group there today, this week, and then we have our other kiddos going the following week. Yesterday, we had a quick assembly, and I would say for the last 7 or 8 years, we've had this pancake breakfast, and I think I've probably mentioned it before, and it's always centered around helping some cause regarding cancer. And it actually started with one of our staff members had a spouse that was diagnosed with cancer. And so that's how this whole thing started. So we've done it every year, and we've selected different organizations to help. Well, this year, there was a 4th grade kiddo that started this Hawks for Hope. And so he was on the football team, and just with his personal experience and family experience, he really started organizing where, like, the visiting teams would come and they would bring different items that could be used at the Seacoast Cancer Center. The oncology nurses have kind of created what they call a store, and it is things like hard candy, it's tissues, it's coloring books, it's these care packages. And so we had this assembly yesterday where the kiddo ran the assembly, and his class ended up, they've got all the boxes and things like that, and so in a couple of weeks we will, well, I think it's on the 14th and 15th. And he and I have a little wager on how much money we're going to raise. And so I think I'm going to lose, okay? Because he did such a great job of selling this. And I think he's actually at the board at the hospital tonight. He's presenting there as well.
Wow.
And it just, you just never know what's going to touch folks. I got an email back from a parent last night that said they had been a recipient of one of these care packages. And she goes, you folks don't realize that when you are in a difficult time and all of a sudden you get this package of someone else is thinking of you. And so I know that the kids made about $200 today, and the first day I know that we will, and kids are just saying, I think it's $3.50 for the pancakes. They're giving a 10 and saying keep the change. And so that, we just have, and again, it's across all schools, just compassion. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Last thoughts from the board? I have one, actually, something I meant to say when I was doing my update, I forgot. I learned that the Marshall Education Foundation is instituting a Distinguished Teacher Award starting next year, and it will be, in addition to the award, there'll be a $500 grant for a teacher to use in their classroom.
That's exciting.
They're going to solicit nominations from the community at large, which means not just staff here, but also citizens from both of our towns.
Oh, that's great.
They're going to take a ticket for each nomination and put it in a big barrel and roll it, and then pull out a winner.
Cool.
And not to embarrass anybody who happens to be in the room, but they're going to call it the Jerry Burnell Distinguished Teacher Award. So I think that's pretty cool.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. Yes.
Okay. No further comments? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second, Heather.
Heather, all in favor? That's 4-0, and we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.